Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into another Nostalgia Critic video. Nostalgia Critic is one of my favorite content creators of all time, and he's going to be talking about a movie that's not really horror related. We're actually going to be, this is for nostalgia purposes. We're going to watch this for nostalgia purposes. Who here has seen The Land Before Time? This is a film, to my recollection, I have not revisited this film in over, oh god, I don't think I've seen this movie since I was a kid. And I know this might be stretching it to some people. In my personal opinion, it's a masterpiece. The Land Before Time is an absolute masterpiece. I love it. I just think it's phenomenal. The characters are so memorable. I mean, Ducky, Sarah, Littlefoot, Spike, I mean, Petrie. I mean, there's just so many things about the franchise. It's not even just like the OG movie. The franchise itself is actually quite enjoyable for the most part. There are some in there that are just kind of like, but whatnot. But I'm going to take my glasses off because that glare really annoys me. So you're going to see, unfortunately, my swollen eye. I hope you guys don't mind. I apologize. There's not really a whole lot I can do about that. Having said that, this is one I'm actually excited to check out. Again, big fan of Nostalgia Critic, big fan of what he has to say about certain films, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is Don Bluth. Don Bluth is an animation master. The guy has brought on some of the best animated films of all time. If we're not talking like Disney and stuff, he has brought on some amazing movies that you'd probably be surprised are Don Bluth. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. And if you like this type of content and want some more content like this, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And if you want, go support, or, well, I really don't even want to say if you want. I want to encourage you to go over to the original video and give it a lot of love and a lot of support like you are doing for me. So here we go, guys, with Nostalgia Critics, The Land Before Time. Yeah, very excited. Woo!
This episode brought to you by Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Hey folks, we're starting YouTube memberships. If you want access to emojis,
No shit,
polls,
cool deal.
behind-the-scene videos, and other perks, check out and see if you want to become a member. And come check us out at C2E2. Hope to see you there.
Scoot back a little bit, right? Aw, damn, he didn't play the full song. Oh well.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember? So
you don't have to.
And I want to try something a little different with this intro. I want to be a little real with you. And don't worry, I'm not going to play like the sentimental music. I'm not going to talk like this. Like, don't worry, I'm not going to do any of that. But I want to be a little legit with you. A while ago, I posted this video about how my health was doing. I said how I got shingles and I got past it okay, but it left me with this really bad fatigue and brain fog, and I was told I can't really do anything about it for at least 6 months. Well, 6 months have passed, and it's a lot better, but it hasn't gone away. And it's not something that's really awful or anything like that, because there's no pain involved, none at all, but it does start to mess with you after a while. When you get this thing, suddenly it can last a couple seconds, it can last a couple days, and I just feel lost in my own head. I can't focus, yet my mind is going to like a million things at once. I'm pretty sure I have ADHD and OCD, and they kind of complement each other.
He's actually describing what I might be going through a little bit, and this is how my mind has been going a lot lately. One of the reasons why I just have not been able to film, not on top of all the stuff that's already been going on in my life, you know, doing the housework and stuff. I mean, I'm literally, besides my parents, the only one around here who's really kind of putting his foot down and kind of doing shit around here and putting a lot of work inside the house. I mean, even today we went fishing. I haven't been fishing with my dad since probably 2014. I mean, it's been a long time, so it was really fun to get out there and go fishing with my dad. And then allergies bothering me, my mind going to different places. Like, I have a second channel, I have this main channel I got to keep up with, Patreon members. I mean, seriously, there's so much on my mind right now. And I think I do have ADHD myself. I've never been, like, diagnosed with ADHD, or I've never gone to the doctor and asked them, like, give me a test of how do I prove I have ADHD, but I'm confident I have ADHD. And I'm also OCD, and they kind of do play something with each other, because I feel like, I don't even know where I'm going. Let's just go ahead and continue.
Other because I like moving on to the next thing, but I also really love deadlines, so I think that really helps a lot for my work. And I have the greatest job in the world, and this is keeping me from my job. It's keeping me from making videos, and it drives me insane. And sometimes I can't even form words when it happens. Like, I was at a convention earlier this week, and sometimes I had to have someone interpret what I was saying because my brain would just not be able to form words. And it's, like I said, not the worst thing, but you can really just get lost in it. There are times where I just truly feel lost. Now, why am I telling you all this? Why am I bringing this all up again?
I think it's
and
important,
Well, first
yeah.
of all, I am going to see, an expert on. Actually, by the time this comes out, I will have seen somebody already, so I mean that's already happening. But I swear, I'm not doing this to try and get pity from you by any means at all, because again, so many people are going through so much worse. But I'm bringing this up because while I go through this, for some reason, this movie keeps popping in my head.
And by the way, you don't have to apologize, and you can certainly explain yourself on your own channel, dude. I'm very happy that you're as vocal and honest and upfront about your personal life as you are. I mean, this is something I'm kind of doing myself with my channel, is I'm pretty open about what's going on in my life right now. And I think it's important, and I think I owe it to my audience to kind of let them know if anything goes on. I need to let them know what could get dismay or what may push back certain things that I want to do. 100%. Like right now, I'm already I'm trying my best to get out there and do paranormal investigations this summer. But there's no guarantee. I can't sit here and tell you for 100% fact that I'm going to be doing it this summer, because I have a lot on my plate right now. But I'm trying to push for it. I'm trying to aim for it. And it bums me out, but you don't have to apologize, man. It's okay. I get it.
Now, I don't need you to play therapist. It's very clear why this movie keeps popping up in my head. It's about lost characters trying to find their way back, and I'm clearly going through something
I'm gonna
similar.
cry during this, by the way.
Yeah, in a different way. I haven't been
I'm gonna
chased by a
cry.
T-Rex yet. But my mother's dead. I can't say that. But what's been standing out to me recently about this film is how they portray the journey of being lost. Released in 1988 and produced by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, there have been dozens of films about abandoned children who have to survive on their own. But Land Before Time, in typical Don Bluth fashion, really made you feel the misery and danger of that journey.
Yeah.
But again, so you can appreciate the camaraderie, hope, and eventual triumph of such an important journey. If Lord of the Flies is a pessimistic tale about a young hopeful unit becoming predatory animals, Land Before Time is an optimistic tale about predatory animals becoming a young hopeful unit. I've always enjoyed it a great deal, but I don't know if I would call it one of my favorite movies or anything. However, in this strange part of my life, I find it resonating with me a lot more, and I think it'd be interesting to re-examine it while feeling a little lost in my own head, too. I mean, it must have resonated with a lot of other people, because sweet Jesus, they made a lot of sequels.
Yeah, they
so
did.
Jump right in and figure out why.
No, I'm sorry. I completely, in my personal opinion, The Land Before Time is in my top 20, top 10 favorite animated films of all time. Maybe not my top 20 or 50 favorite films in general, but animated films, it's high up there. I genuinely think this is a phenomenal flick.
It made such a connection. This is gonna look weird without a Roman numeral next to it. We made 14
No shit,
of
dude.
these?
No shit.
At night? This is
No
Land
shit.
Before Time.
I was actually, we have a VHS collection. I'm downstairs organizing all the Land Before Time VHSs, and I'm having to look up on Google, because I'm not good with Roman numerals, and I'm trying to look up which one goes in order. Why can't we just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
The film opens almost like something out of Fantasia, really taking its time establishing mood. It's not even all in focus, but weirdly that gives it a little bit more of a dreamlike quality, as if you're in a distant memory or a past life or something. But spoilers, apparently dinosaurs aren't surviving that great, as food is becoming scarce and many are setting out to find a new home. I blame the bunch beetles. Several babies hatch, and I think it's impressive how Bluth makes these creatures both a little ugly and a little cute at the same time. They're wrinkly with drab colors, but they also have big, bright eyes with wide open mouths. They surprisingly complement each other.
They're adorable,
One
man.
herd had only a single baby.
And again, in typical Don Bluth fashion, even just entering existence can be a scary as hell experience.
God, the
Yeah,
opening with
remember
the
when they said
egg.
this herd only has one baby? Kinda makes you look at these smashed eggs a little different, huh?
Wow, that's messed up.
Don't be frightened. Come out.
This leads to the birth of Littlefoot, a great name for a baby, but man, gonna get him beat up in Dino School. And as he grows, he too sees how scarce food is and follows his mother to a place called the Great Valley.
Have you ever seen the Great Valley? No.
Sorry, I had to take the roundabout to answer that, but it was more of a face-to-face answer.
That's
also
it's
discover what-
slightly kind of intimidating the way she turns her giant head around just to answer him. Yeah. I'm already getting emotional, man. If you don't know the movie, basically there were two deaths when you were a child. 2 deaths that made you bawl your eyes out. Obviously, Mufasa from The Lion King. you cried. Most of us lost it. Second one, Littlefoot's mom. Holy shit.
A leaf left called a tree star, and they decide not to eat it because it's very special.
A tree star.
It is very special.
Granted, they never say why it's special, but I kinda dig that. It has a meaning to them, and that's all that really matters. But it's also something you can read different takes on, like it feeds you and gives you energy, but you don't eat it because it's a reminder of what you're looking for. A place filled with many more of them, it kinda makes sense. With that, say if I was in a food famine and someone had a special Snickers bar, I'm not even taking the wrapper off before I eat it. I don't care what it meant to you.
Some things you
take it-
see with your eyes. Others you see with your heart.
While they've never seen the Great Valley, the family goes strictly on faith and believe it not only exists, but there's more of their own kind there, as different types of dinosaurs don't always get along.
Three horns never play with long necks.
Dude, he said the LN word! He stumbles across the same three-horn again named Sarah, which I'm ashamed to point out over 25 years later, I never knew was spelled like this. Get it? It's like the arrow in FedEx. I hate how mind-blowing that.
Wow. No, I never got that either, just until you pointed that out. Triceratops, Sarah. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Alright.
Is. But I like the mentality of even though she acts like she hates Littlefoot, she'll forget about it quickly because, fun is fun. They're approached by a T-Rex named Sharptooth, and I love for as menacing as they make the king of the dinosaurs, he's still not as scary as Don Bluth just drawing a cat. I'm artistically offended. His
Such an
mother
epic
comes to
battle,
save him,
man.
though, in the most epic battle of keep your kids off my lawn ever.
Dude, it's so good.
An earthquake hits, incorporating to no surprise, some pretty intense animation, separating the herds and sadly doing in Littlefoot's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, better get that spring song from Bambi ready. Yeah, we ain't pulling
Yeah,
that.
man, that where it's like so heartbreaking. You just realize what happened, and all of a sudden, it goes in like the happy mode. We just lost one of the main characters. Don't try to sing songs to us right now.
Shit here,
Happy little
when
songs.
a character dies, they let you sit with it for a while. And it is appropriately brutal.
Do you remember the way to the Great Valley?
I guess so. But why do I have to know you're gonna be with me?
Now just put your kidneys back in your body and we can get going.
I really wasn't kidding when I said it lets you sit with the sadness, as Littlefoot tries to carry on with the journey but breaks down in front of another dinosaur named Rooter, voiced by Pat Hingle.
Hey, what's going on here? What's your problem? You're not hurt.
So this is gonna sound really weird, but this is my favorite performance from this actor. I don't know, maybe I haven't seen him in enough roles, but whenever I see him, he always plays the bumbling, goofy guy. Even when he plays a part with dignity, they end up turning him into a doofus later. Here, though, his voice carries a lot of toughness, but also a lot of heart.
It is nobody's fault. The great circle of life has begun. Not all of us arrive together at the end.
At first, he's like, what's your problem, you Gen Alpha safe space? But then he puts together what's going on and convincingly, as well as warmly, changes.
I see. I see.
The music, the dialogue, the animation, the acting. Truth be told, this is my favorite part of the movie. Everything just
it makes
works
sense.
exactly how it's supposed to and creates a genuinely emotional moment.
I miss her so much.
She'll always be with you, as long as you remember the things she taught you.
I love, too, that he just leaves him there. He's like, well, we're still animals. You're not stealing half my food. There's still a harshness to it. Even when it tries to have a cute bit of levity with these pterodactyls fighting over food.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, don't forget, this kid's a mother's oil.
Jeez. Quickly before we get moving on, shuffling through the movie, I gotta say, the typical thing you would expect would have been that old timer to take him under his wing. I mean, that would be the cliched thing to do, right? But no, he's right. Like, most of them are like, hey, it is what it is. You know, you'll get through it. And then they leave him. Like, you'll get through it. You know, better days are ahead. But literally, he just lost his mom to a Sharptooth or a Tyrannosaurus Rex fight. Like, but this is reality. This is like the world of dinosaurs, is that, yeah, people can get killed. Like, we can get killed any day. And it's just the circle of life around here. Yeah, that scene, I'm really glad he didn't go too much into it, because I was actually getting emotional just listening to the mom's dialogue again, just talking to Littlefoot before he wandered away. I gotta rewatch this movie. I got to go back and revisit. I mean, seriously, there's so many things I just completely forgot about in this film that I feel like I shouldn't have forgot about. I don't think I forgot about it. I think it's just like an unlocked memory. Kind of like when you see something, you're like, oh, that's right, that happened. Oh my God.
He sleeps in his mother's footprint because sweet Jesus, but then he stumbles upon the tree star from before, swearing he's hearing his mother's voice.
Follow the bright circle past the great rock that looks like a long neck.
But try to get there early. They always dress him up weird for the holidays. I think it's cool we don't know if Littlefoot is actually hearing his mother or if he's just remembering what she told him like Reuter said.
Mother!
But it's okay. Look, Mama is still alive! Mama is still alive! Mama is dead and this movie is cruel. Come on, baby was onto the Lola prototype by now.
Sarah!
Okay, Sarah. Good. Old friends will set aside their differences and team up.
Go away. Three horns can be very dangerous.
Even the plot of the story, the only thing giving a glimmer of hope is like, yeah, not yet. Yeah, this film doesn't hand out its happy ending like it's candy. It makes you work for it.
Yep.
Double shifts.
I kind of like it. I like it.
Finally get some levity with a character named Ducky. And yeah, admittedly, it is hard not to feel bummed seeing this character when you know the actress's story, but her performance truly is one of genuine joy and charm that I think it makes sense to mainly focus on that.
I'm a long neck too, see? And I have a long tail like you.
Though he says they should stay apart because they're different, she doesn't take no for an answer, and Littlefoot, almost halfway through the movie, finally has a friend.
You want to go with me? Yeah! Oh, oh, yes, yes, yes.
They discover another friend named
Oh, yes,
Petrie,
yes,
a
yes.
pterodactyl who can't fly and who, like the others, was separated from his
Petrie.
family. Boy, his path is like the yellow brick road for orphans, huh?
I flied?
No, you followed.
I fall.
I'm afraid if I can't fly, the only other thing to survive is a cockroach, and I want to evolve into that.
Sarah stumbles across the body of Sharptooth, and yeah, let's add playing with corpses to the list of messed upness this movie's creating. Yes, Sharptooth and Sauron have very similar DNA strands. Sharptooth rises, scaring Sarah away
Dude,
while Littlefoot and the
the
gang
way he
do
gets
their
up-
own corpse desecrating. Yeah, what was the story with this guy? And they run into Sarah.
I met the Sharptooth. Sharptooth is dead.
And so are all his grandchildren. They don't believe her, but she decides to join the group anyway, as they stumble across another new friend, Spike.
You are all alone. Are you not scared?
Yeah, nice we go from lost children trying to find their parents to, hey, this one's parents aren't even in the picture. Hell, whether they left voluntarily or involuntarily, nothing would make this a happy scenario.
We're going to the Great
Wait.
Valley. You could go with us.
Thankfully, though, Spike is pretty laid back.
Wait. Those bones we just saw, don't tell me those were Spike's parents. Like, mother. I just put that together. Nostalgica just pointed out, what's the story behind this? And then they find Spike. I'm not sure if he was, like, found close nearby. But if that's the case, maybe that was the parent, right? I mean, that would make sense, actually. I could be wrong.
Never talking and just going with the flow, stuffing his face along the way. If t-shirts existed in this time, this would probably be the one he would wear. They think they found the Great Valley, but it's just a small collection of trees that are quickly eaten up. They try to find what they can, with everyone teaming up to get food. Well, almost everyone.
You four look so ridiculous.
So, eat Sarah? We're all agreed
Yeah,
to eat
yeah,
Sarah?
she's kind of unbearable
Sarah
at
tries
first.
to get her own food, with Littlefoot helping out without ever letting her know he's helping out.
See? I can take care of myself.
Well, I think you can make the argument this isn't exactly good team building. You can also acknowledge they're kids and admire Littlefoot's attempt to be nice. This is why I like when stories like this are done well. If a main character makes a mistake, they're young, they're still growing and learning. It's not like when an adult makes a stupid decision, you're just like, that dumbass should know better. If anything, with younger characters, they become more endearing through their mistakes, if they're handled correctly. And literally, at the end of the day, it is the rest of the group that eventually goes to rest with him because they trust him and because he accepts them with open arms, including Sarah. They're sweet, believable moments. Shit gets real, though, when Sharptooth attacks, proving Sarah was right all along. Though they escape, this creates a rift in the group, as Sarah wants to go an easier way despite all the landmarks Littlefoot was told about, leads them in a different direction.
Oh, yeah.
Again, when the kids fight, especially when they're exhausted, it feels real. They feel vulnerable like actual kids are, letting their emotions get the best of them and not always knowing if they should reel them back or not. Not only are they lost physically, but they're also lost mentally, not always knowing where to go or who to trust.
Sarah's way is easier.
I think so, too.
Ah, this must be the American side of the continent. But it turns out Sarah's way leads to Dragon's Lair, where our heroes are trapped and have to be saved by Littlefoot. They even save Sarah pretending to be a giant tar monster.
Sarah, it is us!
Yeah, let's be careful how we animate that tar. You're not Disney, and right now that's a good thing.
Sarah, come back!
Sarah's ashamed she almost got her friends killed, especially when they would gladly do so on their own.
It's Sharptooth.
Let's get rid of him once and for all.
Or, you know, maybe we can say we like him to his face and then tweet we hate him online.
They lure him towards a giant lake and try to push a boulder on his head to drown him. The boulder is too heavy, but Sarah returns to give an extra push, and even Dimitri finally learns to fly to fight him off. Kind of like the Snyder Cut.
guts.
I like everyone has a role to play in the climax. If one character
Oh,
was
yeah.
gone, they wouldn't survive. Everyone has to pull their weight in order for this to work.
Littlefoot.
Mother!
Just as Littlefoot's ready to give up on the Great Valley, he swears he hears his mother calling to him. And sure enough, the Great Valley was in his heart the whole time. Nah, it's around the corner.
The Great Valley was all they dreamed it would be. Enough tree stars to feast on forever.
And we do mean forever.
This is our new brother's fight!
He'll eat about 90% of our rations, but the merchandise will be through the roof.
The ending's just as warm and earned as it should be, as the misery they all went through finally pays off and the lost are finally found. And yeah, I think that's why the film's been resonating with me so much. It knows how to make the characters truly lost, but never hopeless. Like I said, I swear I wasn't saying what I said before to get pity, but rather to show there really is something to stories and media reflecting back our own journeys. Okay, many of us aren't separated from our families and have to go on these grand adventures, but they help us out by sympathizing with us in different ways. You truly feel how lost these characters are, both physically and emotionally. And that can be very relatable. Everybody understands that feeling. And well, sure, it's not doing anything really new, it's just doing it really well. The characters are likable, the animation's spectacular, and the emotion appropriately varies from intense and depressing to uplifting and heartfelt. It's also gonna sound weird too, but it's impressively short. The film is just a little over an hour, and it feels like so much was accomplished in that amount of time that you'd swear it was longer. It was made at a time when Disney was leaving a void that needed to be filled. In fact, a lot of people argue this film was much more like classic Disney than the actual Disney film that came out that same year. A big part of that comes from the film knows not to lie about how overbearing the challenges of life can be, but still remind you they can be overcome. I find myself sympathizing with more and more stories like these, particularly with characters who are still trying to figure out the world because they don't always have the proper guidance they need. They stumble and don't always make the right choices, but you see them learn and grow.
The characters are so relatable. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why I think a lot of people kept going back to these kids, is that they can relate to them, and they felt like kids. They wasn't just characters trying to be cute just to be cute. It was like these kids were, they would get angry, they would fight with each other, they would just let their emotions take over. All these things that he's pointed out are exactly a lot of the reasons why a lot of people just remember these characters so much. I mean, Littlefoot, everybody knows who Littlefoot is for the most part. I mean, you should introduce your kids right away.
As a result of it. Land Before Time takes that back to the basics, as basic as it can get at the beginning of all things. So you can connect with a timeless journey that always has been and always will be continuing in one way or another. It's a solid adventure with solid leads and a solid message about finding what you thought may never be found. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
I flied?
Okay, so yeah, going back to that a little bit before I go ahead and end the video here, is that Land Before Time is a movie that I have not seen in a good minute. I just have not, and to be reminded of a lot of the things that have happened throughout the movie was kind of nice. I like these kind of things where we can go back and just revisit something that you haven't seen in a while. Nostalgia Critic, you know, things that are nostalgia. Nostalgia Critic is definitely the guy I go to. And I was debating on like watching this by myself or just doing a reaction, but I decided to do a reaction at the end of the day. I know a lot of people are probably not going to be, you know, jumping up with glee that it's not horror related, but I am also somebody who wants to dive more into nostalgia from my childhood and other people's childhoods. and there's no doubt about it that The Land Before Time is one of those movies that I used to grow up on, like The Secret of Nim. I used to grow up on Spirited Away, Studio Ghibli. I mean, all these different animated films that you might not even have heard of, I think deserve to get recognized and mentioned at some point here or there. So, guys, let me know, The Land Before Time, what did you think of it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know the reasons down below why. I think this is something I definitely have to revisit at some point in the far future, or maybe even the near future. I got to go ahead and take a moment and revisit something, because if I'm forgetting certain things that happened throughout the movie, then it's because I haven't seen it in a long time. And I haven't seen this movie since probably since I lived in Stanwood, Washington, which was back before 2007. So yeah. Guys, let me know what you think down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will do more of these kind of reactions. Get this video up to 100 likes, and I will continue doing Nostalgia Critic reactions for you guys if you so enjoy them. So until next time, do take care.
JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He's watching, not letting get away. On his way, JCARTSARTS, tearing the fakers apart. He with his heart, no one dare tell him can't react, because JCARTS has your back. JCARTSARTS has your back. JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after me. If you caught a can't stay, JCARTSARTS is through. You won't be meant dead.